Hello and welcome to my presentation for the final project of CSET 4850 for the fall semester 2020. My name is Alexander Shifko and I'll be talking to you today about VPNs, their providers, and you. The first question is, what is a VPN? Well, a VPN is a virtual private network, and this network is accomplished through the use of VPN servers and a VPN client, where the user's device uses this client to communicate to the VPN server and send data from the VPN server to whoever they were intending for their data to reach in the first place. All data sent through the VPN is encrypted and is protected from intruders through the use of a tunneling protocol. So, what's the history of the VPN? Well, the VPN was first seen use by the American government when they were afraid of nuclear war knocking out their communication systems. So their main issue was that even though the nuclear attack could knock out some of their pathways to reach certain communication hubs, there could be somebody who intercepts part of the path that their communication goes along. We call it man-in-the-middle attack, and could steal their confidential data. So they came out with a VPN which would utilize a tunneling protocol. So from there, VPNs have become much more widespread in use over the years, especially because of our globalized society and the use of the internet. So why exactly do you want to use a VPN? Well, a VPN, most importantly, provides data privacy. Today, more than ever, users' privacy is being attacked from all different sources, whether it be your government or malicious actors on the internet. A VPN ensures a source of anonymity for users in order to protect their privacy. And a VPN also involves using encrypted data, which provides security for communication. A VPN can also change the local IP address of a user, which allows them to access certain content they may have not originally been allowed to access in their region. And so the tunneling protocol that VPNs use works in a way where the data from your PC is sent using the client through a tunnel. And so all the data is in this tunnel, and everybody else on the internet, they can't see into this tunnel, so it protects the data. And if the tunnel experiences any form of attack on it, it will shut down the tunnel and reroute your data through a different encrypted tunnel. So you protect yourself from government, corporations that try to harvest your data, and any hackers on the internet. And so your data goes from your device to a VPN provider's servers, and then the servers then take your data without personal data and send it to the internet to be used however you intended for it to be used. So what can I do with a VPN? As I explained before, VPN, the IP, when you're using a VPN, your current IP is whatever the IP of the VPN server is. So if you're on a VPN server in Argentina for some reason, your address will be a Argentinian IP address, which means you might be able to access content or deals only available to residents of Argentina. Also with a VPN, you can safely use public networks such as those in an airport or in a cafe. When you're on a local network without a VPN, your data is not being encrypted, and therefore anyone on the local network can steal your data. It is also important for you to use a VPN when you're dealing with confidential information, such as making bank transactions or using your bank online, because it protects your data from being stolen from hackers. And another feature of VPN is it works well for creating remote connections, so you can connect somewhere remotely, and it'll act as if you're actually in that remote area, but you're actually sitting at home. So then the question is, where can I get this VPN? Well, Over the past decade, the amount of VPN providers has exploded in amount, and there are many different companies you can get a VPN from. They host the VPN, and they take care of all the server issues and such. They choose the protocols you have access to. So you can see from here, these are a set of some of the top 5 VPN companies, and VPNs normally range from $99 a year to as cheap as $49 for 18 months. And as you can see, there are some protocols which are supported by almost every single VPN company, but then there's some that none of these companies support, and it can be due to a wide variety of reasons, such as they're not having access to it, or these are protocols that are outdated and shouldn't be supported. So then the question comes to, what protocol should I choose? Because this is very important when you're selecting a VPN company. You shouldn't just pick a VPN company based on their price. You should choose a VPN company based on what protocols are they using. So the first protocol we have is the PPTP, or point-to-point tunneling protocol. So this is one of the older VPN protocols, and as you could see from the chart before, not many of these companies really use PPTP anymore. There are very many security issues with this protocol, and unlike most modern VPNs, PPTP uses TCP to encapsulate their packets, while most standard VPNs today use UDP. It also does not come standard with encryption and authentication, which means personal information can be obtained even while using this VPN protocol. The next one is L2TP, or Layer 2 tunneling. This protocol is extremely fast, but it is more vulnerable than other protocols. This protocol works on the second layer, or the data link layer, rather than most other VPNs these days, which use Layer 3. Because of the security issues with this, people should only use Layer 2 tunneling for if they desire to have anonymity on the internet rather than being secure on the internet. The next up, we have OpenVPN, which is one of the most widely used VPNs out there because it is an open source protocol. Because it's open source, it is extremely versatile, and if any vulnerabilities are found on the protocol, the OpenVPN community will quickly resolve these issues. And the security and anonymity provided by this protocol is one of the best available on the market, which means between it being very cheap and very effective and very safe to use, most companies will have OpenVPN enabled. Next is IKE-v2, which is the Internet Key Exchange version 2. This is another very popular VPN protocol developed by Microsoft and Cisco. IKE-v2 deals with the security attribute between the two entities attempting to connect on a VPN. And so it accomplishes its encryption by using an encryption key. This key is shared between both of the parties, and it is used to encrypt and decrypt data while it's traveling in the tunnel between the user and the VPN server. So some other ones that are accessible right now is WireGuard. Now, WireGuard is one of the absolute newest protocols available, and amazingly, it only contains 4,000 lines of code. This is in great contrast to OpenVPN, which has over 400,000 lines of code. With such a small code base, it means that this protocol in particular is very easy to secure and manage than other protocols. The main problem with this protocol right now is that it's so new that the VPN community considers this more of an experimental protocol. So it's not doesn't have widespread adoption right now. But it does have support through NordVPN, which solves one of its issues where it does not dynamically assign IP addresses to all users, which provides a low quality of user anonymity. NordVPN solved this issue through creating their double network address translation system, which creates two network interfaces for users. The first of these interfaces provide all users with a local IP address specific to the server they connect to, whereas the second interface assigns a unique IP address for each user in the tunnel. Their system is called NordLynx and is only available through NordVPN. SSTP, or Secure Socket Tunneling Protocol, is a newer protocol created by Microsoft, but it is completely owned by Microsoft, and which means only Microsoft has access to the code. Because of this, none of the major companies I surveyed offer support for this protocol, but this protocol is configurable on any Windows 10 device. Next up is ShadowSoft, which isn't quite a VPN, but is a proxy service used mainly in China. It was actually created in China in 2012, and the Chinese government just forced the creator to stop development in 2015. But it has a repository on GitHub and is continuously updated by its users. So if you want to get around media restrictions, such as through a firewall, ShadowSocket is an easier way than using a VPN to get around that. But it does not encrypt while it does encrypt some data, users should not use this for anonymity or security. So, what company should you choose from those protocols I discussed? Well, I would personally recommend NordVPN. NordVPN uses WireGuard, OpenVPN, and AKE v2, which are the best protocols out on the market, and arguably WireGuard is the best one. NordVPN has their very own proprietary version of WireGuard, and so that means they're the only company out on the market who offers this new protocol. By having a low number of protocols available, it means it's easier for NordVPN to manage as well. They have a large amount of servers, and they have a very reasonable price point. My second recommendation that I would at least ask people to consider is the CyberGhost. CyberGhost has the widest range of protocols available, and it also has the absolute cheapest price point out of any of the companies I surveyed. I would recommend people to at least check this out and see if it would be right for them. Otherwise, I would go ahead and stick with NordVPN. So, what if you don't really want to work with a company to take care of your security? Because companies can't always be trusted. Well, you could always make your own VPN. This is very simple, or relatively simple, as all you have to do is figure out what server service you would like to use. You could use Amazon, Microsoft, or Google servers. And so you can rent a server, and then all you have to do is install the VPN protocol onto that server on into your computer. And this is made very simple through the use of Algo VPN, which is available for free on GitHub. All you do is you pick out your protocol, which I would recommend OpenVPN, as it is very trusted by the industry, and it is completely free to use. But I would recommend only experienced users try to use this form of VPN, because if you don't know what you're doing, you could set it up incorrectly, and it may not actually be protecting you or protecting your data. So, in conclusion, I think VPNs are absolutely essential these days if you're using the internet. Data is everything, and you should be very concerned with your security and your personal data these days, because everyone seems to be out to get it. So I would recommend everybody to go out and find a VPN that works for them. But I think it's very important that everyone looks at the protocols provided by these VPNs and figure out which one seems best for you, which one you'd rather pay for. There is also the do-it-yourself alternative, which most people don't really realize, which leads to way cheaper prices for your VPN, but you do have to be on top of it, and you do have to make sure that you're configuring it correctly, or else you may have a bad VPN on your hands. So, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.